Hello, welcome to Probably Paranormal. This is our very first episode, so if you are listening or watching, thank you so much for being here. My name is Jamie.
I'm Jesse.
And we are your hosts. So I guess we should start with a little bit of an explanation as to what Probably Paranormal will be, how the episodes will go, and how the podcast came about, I guess, which basically I have always loved and been fascinated and drawn to, I guess, just like creepy things and the paranormal ever since I was very young. And I really just love learning about new things, and I watch a lot of videos and podcasts and stuff about it, and I'm always wanting an outlet, I guess, to talk about it.
It's your way to calm down.
Yeah.
Like when you're super stressed or you had a busy day, you would go and watch paranormal or true crime or horror or something.
Yeah, when I need a nap.
Bit daunting, but that is what you do.
And long story short, Jesse is basically the opposite. You have no interest, right?
Yeah.
Very little interest.
Yeah, I just kind of live in a world where only good things happen.
So I guess we're here to corrupt him.
Yes.
And I mean, yeah.
Which is, I guess, why it's called Probably.
Probably.
I'm here to say probably not.
Yes. He is a little bit of a skeptic. I would say, I wouldn't necessarily call you a skeptic. This is our cat, Salem. Her name is Salem, so clearly my influence there. She will probably make some appearances throughout the episodes.
We're not going to stop her.
So that's something to look forward to. But yes, back to the podcast. We thought I thought it would be fun to every week come on here. I'll research a topic or a topic, a story, whatever, some aspect of the paranormal and the creepy world, I guess, and come here, tell Jesse all about it. And I guess we'll just get his reactions. And I don't know. I feel like you get scared, but I also feel like you don't express when you're scared. So this will be interesting. I'm really intrigued. I think, like I was saying earlier, you're a skeptic, but I think that you're not necessarily a skeptic because you do believe in it. Like when I tell you about the experiences I've had and that like my family have had, you do believe them.
I think my default is just to not really care about it.
Yeah, I think that's more what it is. It's less that you don't believe it and more just that you're not interested in it. But yes, okay, that is our big spiel of what the podcast is about. We do have a topic today.
I should say I have no idea what the topic is about.
Yeah, he's got no clue what the topic is.
I think there's an orangutan.
There's not an orangutan. And also, while we're in this little intro section, I wanted to mention, at the end of every episode or throughout episodes, I will include stories, obviously, to do with the topic, because for me, when I'm consuming paranormal content, like hearing the actual stories is one of my favorite parts, and I also think is the main stuff that's going to get good reactions out of Jesse. For now, I found a lot of these stories on Reddit. Hopefully, one day, a lot of the stories can all be from you guys. So we do have an email. It is probablyparanormalpodcast@gmail.com. Probably Paranormal was taken, which is just rude. So probablyparanormalpodcast@gmail.com. And if you guys could send in any experiences, big, small, any topic, any sort of paranormal or creepy experience, please send in emails. It will be so fun if we can share some of you guys' stories here and I get to tell them to Jesse.
I definitely won't be reading them, but
he won't be reading them in his free time.
No.
But he would love to hear them on the podcast, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Can't wait.
But yes, so please send in any experiences you have to the email. So, for our very first episode, I wanted to take the time to cover something that will definitely be coming up in, honestly, probably majority of episodes here on out.
Okay.
It's a bit of a broader topic for today because I think that this is sort of a a starting ground for all things paranormal and for a lot of future topics. This is also something that I have brought up to Jesse just in the past, like to talk about when I hear about different types of this thing, and Jesse just has no clue what I'm talking about. He's never heard of this. So today's topic is cryptids. Have you heard me mention cryptids?
Like, it rings a bell. I can't...
So what we're finding out is Jesse does not pay attention to me when I talk. Strange noises, weird figures, humanoid creatures. That's probably a cryptid of some sort.
So they're like human ghosts.
Well, that would be a ghost.
Oh. What's the difference between a ghost and a cryptid?
Okay, we'll get there. So to begin, we're going to go over a little bit of the history of cryptids, some more broad information into what cryptids are, because like I said, Jesse has no clue. And also, as much as I'm sure if you're here watching this, you've heard of cryptids, but I honestly learnt a lot while researching this, which I'm surprised by because I feel like I knew a lot about cryptids to begin with. But here we are. After we cover all of the more broad cryptid stuff, I thought it would be really fun to jump right in and cover the Mothman.
Ooh.
Did you hear that noise?
Yeah. Is that the Mothman?
I don't know.
Does it go into houses and make noises?
It sounded like one of our dining chairs moving.
It did. Is that what the Mothman does?
I don't know, I guess you'll have to stay tuned to find out.
If the Mothman does that, this is the last fucking episode.
The Mothman does not move dining table chairs.
If he has the ability to.
That actually was really creepy. What was that?
Dining chairs moving.
Okay. So, what is a cryptid? When you Google what is a cryptid, it says an animal whose existence or survival is disputed or unsubstantiated, such as the Yeti or Bigfoot.
Oh.
And, I mean, I think this explanation, or this definition, I suppose, does cover it, but I also feel like it kind of underplays it. And I don't know, I feel like a lot of you guys who are into this sort of stuff will probably agree with me. I just feel like that, I don't know, I guess it's the scientific explanation. So, some examples of cryptids that I'm sure everyone has heard of before, even you, Jesse, are obviously Bigfoot and the Yeti, like we just mentioned, the Yowie for our Australian listeners. We also obviously have the Loch Ness Monster, that's a cryptid. Werewolves, that's technically a cryptid. So these are just three of the more, I guess, basic or surface level cryptids that, like I said, everyone has heard of before in their life. But when you really look into it, you could spend hours falling down the rabbit hole of the number of different cryptids that exist.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, think about it, it's just like a creature who people have claimed to see, but technically, scientifically hasn't been proven to exist.
Yeah.
So there really is so many stories, and there are some really terrifying cryptids as well, like that we will obviously cover more as we go through this podcast.
So what separates a cryptid from a ghost?
Well, a cryptid is like a creature, but a ghost is more like a spirit, an apparition.
Right. Okay.
Whereas a cryptid...
Is there any cryptid that has like actually been proven?
Whoa, you just read my mind.
To exist?
Okay, we are going to get there in like literally 2 minutes.
Okay.
Hold your horses. Jumping the gun.
I feel like a lot of this could just all start from one cooker.
I agree. And I knew you would say that.
One cooker.
Which is why in a minute we will jump into some cryptids that
I'm excited
been proven to exist.
Should be good.
The concept of cryptids has been around for obviously like literally forever. I mean, it dates back to like ancient Egyptian times. But the actual term cryptid was coined by John E. Wall in the 1980s to describe the creatures or animals that were studied in cryptozoology, which is the field of study that has to do with cryptids.
Yeah.
I'm sure, Jesse, that when you hear the definition of a cryptid, or even some of these creatures that are considered cryptids, like werewolves or mermaids, as a skeptic, you probably just want to rule cryptids as all fake.
100%.
Yeah, fair. To counter that, there have actually been quite a few creatures that started out as cryptids and as myth that have since been proven to be real animals.
Okay. Hit me.
One of them is actually the orangutan, I believe. It could be in apes. One of the big monkeys, but I chose not to dive into it because I think that's pretty self-explanatory how at one point someone saw that and everyone went, you're crazy. A huge monkey that's the size of a man doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And it does. So again, like these things that sound crazy just because you haven't seen them yourself. Like,
yeah. I see where you're going.
But some of these other ones include giant squid, the okapi, and the Komodo dragon. Which I think the Komodo dragon, again, like apes, that makes a lot of sense. Like,
yeah, it does make, because they're big.
They're huge. We're going to get into that. They're huge. So it does make you like realize that how a lot of these cryptids that are cryptids still could be real. Especially when we then dive into like the whole extraterrestrial of it all and like them not being necessarily from Earth.
Yeah.
Which is a very big possibility.
Yeah.
So, the okapi. Have you ever heard of an okapi? Because I had never.
No, like I think it's a coffee at a place.
At Zarafas?
Yeah. But
yeah, that makes sense that they would have a coffee bean called that. So, the okapi, which I'll put pictures up on the screen for everyone. But before being recognized as a real animal, it was literally nicknamed the African unicorn. And I think still, even as a recognized animal, it's sometimes called the African unicorn.
It's like a cow crossed with a zebra.
It's actually a giraffe.
Bullshit.
It's closer related to a giraffe than anything else. But it was basically described as a strange forest donkey with the horns of a giraffe. So again, like, that's a pretty crazy animal. Like,
yeah, it's a bit cool.
It's like half this, half that, half that. Like, so yeah, imagine someone coming to you and saying, I saw a strange forest donkey with the horns of a giraffe and stripes like a zebra. You're going to think they're crazy. And, like, that's exactly what happened until some explorer saw it and decided it was true.
Yeah.
Jesse had to take his horns off because his head is a little bit too big for them. We were trying to be in the Halloween mood with the headgear.
The headgear.
Yeah. The ears, I guess. I don't know. And then we have, obviously, the Komodo dragon, which until 1910 was just seen by people and described as a giant land crocodile. And there were all these reports of a 10-foot long lizard.
Yeah.
Which everyone thought was insane. I mean, 10 feet. That's almost 2 of me long.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't believe that if someone told me they saw a lizard that long. So, yeah, people, like, reporting this creature were laughed at by scientists who were just like, well, that's not possible.
Yeah.
And look at them now. So it's kind of crazy. So I thought it would make sense to do a little bit of a quick overview into some of the earliest cryptids and some more well-known cryptids before we really get into the Mothman. So the Kraken, which is a cryptid I think most people have heard of. I first heard of it actually in The Sims 3 Island Paradise when they came out with the trigger to release the Kraken. And like it would come up from the water and attack the ships.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I thought that was kind of fun. Basically, the Kraken is a sea monster that was reported by Norse sailors back in the 13th century, so a very long time ago. And I don't really know a lot about how many actual reports there were, as opposed to how much is just a lot of writings, like it was written about in books. So I would say that, like, these days it's pretty widely believed, I guess, that a lot of these sightings were giant squid, because at the time, similar to the Komodo dragon and the okapi and stuff, giant squids were a cryptid.
Yeah.
And people didn't believe in them because, side note, do you know how big giant squid are?
Do I want to know?
So, you know, like a squid, like calamari, like squid, you know, you eat like the whole baby squids. Yeah, how
Meter?
many feet would you say that is?
2?
2 feet long? So the largest recorded one, 43 feet.
That's quite big.
It actually kind of, like I really
Gosh.
hate that. But scientists actually believe that it is within reason to assume that they could get as big as 66 feet long.
God.
66 feet long. So again, like if a 66-foot long squid can exist, I feel like it's not that crazy or outside of reality to think that there really could be some sort of humanoid fish swimming around the ocean that has, turned into what today we call a mermaid.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that
It's not crazy.
mermaids are the way they are in like children's books. I think there's a lot of depictions of mermaids in different media and stuff that could be a lot closer. Obviously, a lot of people think that mermaids were seals, which is such a funny,
I mean, in my head, I imagine
piece of history to me.
the Disney kind of mermaids,
like Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Yeah.
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 But like, I guess they could be more like the centaurs in Harry Potter.
Yes, we are on a Harry Potter marathon at the moment.
Yes.
So, yeah, because I feel like the centaurs in Harry Potter are probably a lot more realistic to what a centaur would look like if they were real versus
Like, I feel like when you hear centaur, it's like
it's like a human head, like a human torso
and they're
on a
wearing
horse body.
jeans,
Yeah.
which is kind of like what the mermaids are like.
Yeah, like they're very like just like a human with a tail.
Yeah.
But it would more be like a humanoid fish.
Look, I think mermaids are one of the more...
I'm quicker to believe that there's Bigfoot and Yetis and things like that than a mermaid for
Fair
some
enough.
reason.
I would love to do a whole episode on mermaids just because I think there is so much interesting lore out there about them and so much history. So again, if that's something you guys would want to see, let me know. Next up, Bigfoot. I mean, there are so many different variations of Bigfoot. There really are so many different variations and interpretations of Bigfoot depending on where you live in the world, and like what culture you're around. Obviously, we have the Yowie in Australia. There's the Yeti or the Abominable Snowman in the Himalayas.
Are they the same people?
They're all different variations of a similar being.
Right.
So are they the same people? No, because they're all from different cultures.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. A lot of cryptids do stem from like native folklore.
Yeah. Okay.
So to say they're all the same thing is very like, would be quite like, I guess, dismissive of different cultures. But they're, I think, just like different iterations of the same being, which again, it's like people see a creature that matches a very similar description all over the world for so long. This creature has been believed in. How can everyone be wrong is sort of the argument there. Like, how can all of these cultures that have this figure in their folklore have just made it up?
Yeah.
Next up, we have the Loch Ness Monster. So, obviously, I think this is like everyone has heard of the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, and
everyone knows Nessie.
This one's real.
I love Nessie. I actually went to Scotland and I went on a little boat cruise around Loch Ness.
Are we going to do that?
We can do that when we go to Scotland next year.
Yeah.
Cool.
Unfortunately, no Nessie sightings, which was really sad for me. I would have loved to see her
when you were there.
when I was there. There's obviously been sightings before when I was there. I believe in the Loch Ness Monster for sure, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those things that kind of just has gotten so big that it's sort of been dramatized.
I
she
believe
probably
in the Loch
wasn't.
Ness Monster
Wow.
because Jeremy Clarkson does.
Jeremy Clarkson doing amazing things for the paranormal world.
100%.
Yeah, I think I always hear so much about people doing like hunts for Nessie, and that makes me so sad. Like, Leave her alone. Whether she's real or not,
Yeah.
who cares? Why do we need to study her? Just let her live out her life. Next up, we have a little bit of a more obscure one. Jesse, I'm going to say for a fact you've not heard of this.
Okay.
But maybe I'm wrong. This one is
Mothman.
definitely more creepy.
Yeah.
And one that we will absolutely do a full episode on.
Okay.
Because I don't even know a lot about this guy, but this is the Jersey Devil. Have you ever heard of the Jersey Devil?
Yeah. No, I haven't. Definitely not.
This is a cryptid who is so creepy and terrifying. I'm not going to go too in depth, but the Jersey Devil came about in folklore in the mid 1700s in New Jersey, specifically
long ago.
in the Pine Barrens area of South Jersey.
Yeah.
It is described as a flying, hooved creature with horns that walks around on two legs and has a lot of dark history involving, obviously, based on the name, the devil and witches,
Yeah.
which is definitely a lot darker than some of the cryptids we've just talked about, like the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
In the early 1900s, there was such widespread panic from the sheer number of sightings of the Jersey Devil
Yeah.
that the schools were closed.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, they closed the schools for a
Alright.
minute because they were so worried about the Jersey Devil.
How long?
I'm not sure exactly, and that's something that I will look into a lot more whenever
Yeah.
we do a full episode. But that's crazy.
What did this guy
hey?
do? Other than just fly around with horns.
I don't really want to fully get into all of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know all of the details, so I don't want to like say something that's just completely wrong. But we definitely will cover him.
Okay.
I think it's crazy, hey.
Can I look at a photo of him now?
And there was in 1960.
Oh,
So the schools were closed. I think that was 1909 or something, like really early 1900s. And then in 1960, there was a $10,000 reward for the capture of this creature.
Wow.
Yeah. And still to this day, people often claim to see the Jersey Devil, and he is very much a prominent Jersey cryptid who attracts a lot of tourism to the area. He is even the inspiration behind the name of their local NHL team, the New Jersey Devils.
Huh.
Yeah, which I thought was a little
Yeah.
bit of fun
Cool.
information there. The Mothman. Are you ready?
No, I don't like moths. I don't like anything that flies.
You're not going to like the Mothman, let me tell you that much.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm imagining like Ant-Man.
Not quite.
or like one moth that turns into a million moths.
That
like
would
him.
almost be scarier than the Mothman.
Okay.
That actually
I
sounds
should write a
scary.
book.
Have you heard of the Mothman, actually?
No,
There is a
no.
book and movie about the Mothman that
I
was...
could guarantee I wouldn't have watched it.
No, I know, but you've not heard of it?
Nah.
The Mothman Prophecies? Okay. So, the legend of the Mothman takes us to West Virginia. And I did want to double check, so I did a quick Google search on whether the Appalachian, however you say it, mountains run through West Virginia.
Yeah.
And as would be suspected with a creature like the Mothman walking around or flying around, I guess, they most certainly do. In fact, the state of West Virginia is the only state that is located entirely within the Appalachian region. Now, Jesse, I have definitely mentioned Appalachia,
Yeah, I'm trying to think of.
but you don't know anything.
I
do you?
don't really recall.
I think it's one of those things, if you haven't ever researched it and you're not American, you wouldn't really know a lot. And we actually are doing an episode on Appalachia, the Appalachian Mountains.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's Appalachia.
So
We're obviously Australian.
so it depends where you're from.
Oh.
It's a very hot topic. A lot of discourse
Right.
in the community.
And are we on Appalachia?
So my whole
Can I be
life,
on Appalachia?
I thought it was oh my gosh, my whole life I called it Appalachian Mountains, which I think is how they say it in like New England area, because the mountains run all the way up through there. But in the south and for the majority of the Appalachian area, they do say Appalachia.
I prefer, it's a bit like croissant. I can't stand it.
Okay, we can go with appellation, but whatever.
We're gonna get bullied.
Yeah. Okay, so back to Mothman.
Yeah.
I want you to put yourself in this situation, Jesse, okay?
I'd rather not.
And everyone listening. Imagine you're driving around with some friends at night when suddenly, standing in front of your car, you find a 7-foot-tall creature
Gosh.
with huge eyes that are glowing red in the headlights. It's got a grey-toned, human-like body and huge 10-foot wings folded against its back. Then, as you turn the car around and begin driving off, or speeding off, down the highway, it spreads its wings and starts chasing you. Well, this is exactly what happened to Roger and Linda Scarberry and Stephen Mary Maletti on the night of November 15th, 1966, in their town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Of course it's in a place called Point Pleasant.
Yeah,
Like,
literally. It sounds like
honestly,
Riverdale or something. You know what I mean?
Before you said that, I was like, no, this is bullshit. And then you're like, it's in Point Pleasant. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this happened.
Literally. Like, that would happen in Point
Yeah,
Pleasant, West Virginia.
of course.
Like... So, as soon as the young couples reported this to police, it caught their attention, and within the day, it was featured in the local paper, with the article being titled, "Couples See Man-Sized Bird Creature Something,"
Yeah.
which kind of sums it up, to be
Yeah.
honest. Over the next few days, police reports flooded in with sightings of this large, bird-like creature from both before and after the date of this sighting from Roger, Linda, Steve and Mary.
I see.
With one man, Newell Partridge, saying that when he aimed a flashlight at a creature he saw in a nearby field, its eyes glowed like bicycle reflectors. And he went on to blame a buzzing noise that his television set had been making, and also the disappearance of his German Shepherd on the creature. So he really truly believed that whatever this creature was, it was not good. And it was there to cause some trouble.
Sad.
Yeah.
But also,
Because
like,
I'm pretty sure the story went like his dog had been barking at this creature. And then when the creature like left, the dog chased after it
yeah.
and never came home.
Look, I must admit, like, the red eyes
thing doesn't do anything for me. Like Salem's eyes are red when you look at them sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of animals have red
Like,
eyes.
So yeah, red eyes doesn't do anything for me.
But it is
7 foot-
creepy when
Oh,
you
yeah.
take into account everything else.
I'd rather them not be red, but like,
Yeah,
Okay, fair.
creepy.
What happened throughout the 13 months after this initial sighting was over 100 more reports. 100 more
that's a lot.
throughout just the town of Point
Like
Pleasant.
a police report as well. So
Yeah.
someone went out of the way to like, hey guys, like,
I saw this creature.
Ooh.
And like in the town of Point Pleasant, like, you know?
Yeah, I can't imagine it'd be even
necessarily a big place either.
Yeah. And this was just in their town and the immediately surrounding towns.
imagine-
Should we Google actually how many people live in Point Pleasant?
3,000.
Yeah. So a town of 3,000, and that's today, so I'm sure it was a lot less in the 1960s. And over 100 reports of this creature. Many witnesses of the Mothman claimed to also have strange men in black suits show up on their doorstep. And even people who had not seen the Mothman had noticed these strange men around the town. Within this period of time where the Mothman was at his most prevalent, I suppose, this 13 months after that initial sighting, there were also a huge increase in the number of UFO sightings in the Point Pleasant area.
The men in suits are creepier to me. than
Yeah.
the Mothman.
Yeah, I know. Imagine like a random man in a black suit showing up on your doorstep. Like I actually would, well, I would hide if anyone knocked on my door, but especially if it was a strange man in a suit.
Yeah.
And yeah, allegedly there was also a huge increase in the number of UFO sightings in the area, which is
Yeah.
also very strange when you take all of it into account together.
See, I have a hard time with aliens.
We'll get there.
I'm sure we will, but like I always have.
I know. All of this was until December 15th, 1967, so exactly 1 year and 1 month after the two couples first made that initial report of seeing this creature, when Silver Bridge, a bridge that connected the town of Point Pleasant to a town called Gallipolis in Ohio, tragically collapsed and fell into the Ohio River, killing 46 people. Coincidentally,
Shit.
yeah, if you believe in coincidences, after the bridge's collapse, all the sightings of the Mothman just died off. There was virtually no more sightings.
So is the idea that Mothman and like his accomplices died at the bridge?
No, but that could be a belief, I suppose.
So the 46 people
I
are
don't
accounted
think
for.
Mothman was driving on the bridge when it collapsed.
Okay, so
That's not really the belief.
All the 46 people are accounted for.
Yes, none of them were the Mothman.
None of them were Mothman.
No.
Proven?
I didn't
Oh.
research it, but I'm going to go with proven.
Okay.
Going to lock in
All right.
proven. So this left a lot of people wondering if this bird-like creature that everyone had been seeing was some type of evil entity that either caused the accident or perhaps he was sent as a warning of what was to come to this small town. So
How did the bridge collapse?
just like age, like wear and tear.
Okay.
I think, I mean, I guess it just happens sometimes. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say it's impossible for a bridge to randomly collapse. Of course not.
Yeah.
It feels kind of crazy. I feel like that doesn't just happen. But it also, I mean, it definitely does. And the 1960s, like, it's not that long ago. But I feel like
it
it's...
must have been a pretty big bridge, though, for 46 people to be on there.
Yeah. So, as I kind of mentioned earlier, a lot of people might know of the Mothman from the 2002 movie The Mothman Prophecies, starring Richard Gere, which is basically a fictionalized plot based around Point Pleasant and around all of these sightings that were happening there. So, like, the main plot of the main characters is fictional, but it is very heavily based and inspired by these real accounts.
Yeah.
And it is set in Point Pleasant. I feel like over the years with this movie and the book, the legend of the Mothman has really turned into like somewhat of a legend.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I had heard of it, but before I really researched it, I didn't know anything actually about it. I just had heard of it. And to this day, like, the people from Point Pleasant in 1966, they swear up and down that they saw what they saw, and it wasn't a trick of the eyes or a bird, which some scientists have tried to say, like, it was a crane. But, like, a crane bird, like, with their long, skinny necks, like, you're not mistaking that for a 7-foot tall, like, man figure with wings.
Like, it's if what these people saw actually happened, it's either a Mothman or a cryptid humanoid thing or a dinosaur.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you believe more?
Yeah. Like, it's not a bird.
Yeah.
If what these people saw is what they saw, it can't be explained as a bird or any other type of animal that we actually
And I guess that's
know
kind of like
of.
all the proof you can get in these scenarios.
Yeah, I think a lot of the paranormal and stuff is about, if you haven't seen it for yourself, it's really just a matter of taking what people say. And I guess, like, choosing whether you believe it or not.
Yeah.
People still see the Mothman.
Really?
People still see the Mothman. They see him in West Virginia. They see him outside of West Virginia. Like,
No, I'm not sure I believe people outside.
you think he sticks to West Virginia?
Yeah, I reckon he
You don't think
sticks to
he's
Point
using
Pleasant.
the power and stuff within the Appalachian
Well, I don't know
Mountains?
enough about that to say, but if I know anything about Mothman, he doesn't want to leave Point Pleasant.
Best buddy.
So I my hunch is that the people outside of Point Pleasant,
Either making it up or seeing something different, maybe.
yeah.
Maybe they're seeing the Jersey Devil.
If it was in Jersey,
One very important thing to note is that although there is the belief that the Mothman caused the bridge to collapse and that he is inherently some sort of evil figure, a lot of people who witnessed him, including one of the girls from that initial report in the car, who she actually claims that he visited her like a number of times after that. Or like visited her / she saw him
yeah,
a couple times. And every time he would like chase her and she was scared, but she didn't feel like he was there to cause harm. And she
Yeah.
says that to this day, she doesn't feel like he wanted to hurt them. So I guess that does more coincide with the belief that maybe he was there as a warning. Or he was just there visiting. You know, maybe the extraterrestrial vibes is more real.
He
and
liked Point Pleasant.
he was just visiting and hanging out, and he happened to leave after this accident. And it was just a coincidence, the timing.
Maybe.
So following on from the belief that he is some sort of warning of a tragic event, and also the discussion of whether or not he would leave Point Pleasant, there have been multiple sightings of huge accidents and tragic events that people claim to have seen the Mothman before. I'm not really going to get into it, but there are reports of people seeing him flying around New York before 9/11. People claim to see him right before the bomb in Hiroshima.
Yeah.
One that is a little bit lighter because everyone did survive. In Germany, there was a mine, and all of these miners allege that a Mothman-like creature appeared just moments before the whole mine collapsed, and he actually scared all the miners enough that they all left the mine, and then moments later it collapsed, and it would have killed them all. But this moth-like creature appeared and scared them out.
Okay.
It could be the Mothman, could be something else.
It just, I can see it. I think the thing which doesn't weird me out, but the thing which, makes me question it is the different timings of it all.
That makes sense.
You know, how come the first time he was
there for 13 months before the tragic.
months, then,
I agree.
in this mine in Germany, it was a couple minutes.
Yeah, I agree. So, what really is the Mothman? Some sort of demon? An alien? Or some sort of interdimensional being? Or I guess for the skeptics, maybe he's just a large bird. Who knows? Today, if you visit the town of Point Pleasant, there is a huge 12-foot tall statue depicting the Mothman that was constructed in 2003 nearby the Mothman Museum. Yes, there is a whole museum dedicated to the Mothman and all of the sightings, articles, police reports, and other memorabilia to do with him and that 13-month period, really. And once a year, on every third weekend in September, there is a huge Mothman festival in Point Pleasant.
Is there really?
A Mothman parade and festival.
Gosh.
On the third weekend of September, every single year.
And maybe this is all just some big tourism ploy.
Maybe it
from West
is,
Virginia.
and good for them.
Point Pleasant Council.
Good for them if it is.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. Okay, we quickly had a break. So, if anything's moved for the video watchers, that is why.
I spilled Nando's all over myself.
And Jesse spilled Nando's all over himself, hence why he now has a blanket. But we are pretty much done with today's episode. I have a couple of stories that I found on Reddit for us to read about the Mothman.
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember them. This was a while ago, so I don't really remember what they are, but I remember being really happy with the ones I found. So this first one I found on r/paranormal, and it is titled, I've Seen the Mothman. I've never told anyone about this or talked about it to anyone besides the people that were with me that night and my best friend that claims to have seen him at a different date that I didn't know about until I described my experience to him. But I lived in a small town called Bastrop, Louisiana, with my cousin and his wife.
Okay.
There's not much to do here besides drive back roads like we've done thousands of times before. Then one night in 2015, we were leaving a church that we used to clean. It was around 2 a.m. or so. We were in my cousin's 19...
Already creepy.
Yeah, it's already creepy. An
Cleaning
old church in
church
Louisiana
at
at 2
2
a.m.
Ooh.
I'm scared.
Gosh.
So we were in my cousin's 1990 GMC Sierra single cab 4x4. Love the detail that the original poster gave us here.
Yeah.
We decided to ride back roads. So we're cruising. Me and him are talking and listening to Nirvana. His wife was asleep in the middle seat when we turned on a paved road 5 miles or so outside of town and came around a curve. And there it was, something that we had never seen before. I'm an avid hunter, been in the woods all hours of the night and day, was in the army, but never have I been more freaked out by something than what we witnessed.
Gosh.
There was something dead in the road, and something was eating it. When the headlights hit it, it looked up. It was about 2.5 to 3 foot tall and was kneeling over whatever it was eating. It had red eyes, and it stood up so fast in what seemed like a millisecond, and it was 7 or 8 feet tall. It was pitch black. Its skin looked like a bat's skin, but way darker. And in one foul swoop, it leapt, and its wings opened and flew into the woods on the side of the road. It had to be moving over 50 miles per hour. Wildest experience of my life, and I've always been cynical when it comes to paranormal stuff, but I know what I saw that night, and so does my cousin.
See, like
Scary.
scary.
What were you gonna say?
I feel like that's a copycat. Not a copycat person. Like, I believe that happened. I
Right.
just feel like that wasn't the Mothman.
Right, it was a different cryptid pretending to be the Mothman.
I think so. Because it doesn't sound... just doesn't sound like the Mothman.
Yeah, fair.
Because, like, why the dead thing?
Mm.
You know, that's the first iteration where we've seen that it actually...
Yeah, was eating something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have a little bit more information from the poster because someone
Okay.
commented and said it was just a large owl and you were too freaked out to observe it carefully. Owls have red eyes, and their eyes being on the front of their face, it could look like a human. I've seen a lot of owls and never once have I mistaken one for a human.
Firstly, a 7-foot tall owl, that's enough to be freaked out, even if that is what you saw.
Yeah. And yeah, never have I looked at an owl and thought, oh, that's a human. Oh,
Surely
wait, no,
owls
it's an owl.
don't fly at 50 miles per hour as well. If so, 7 foot tall
Yeah.
and 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, like I think we're missing the details here.
Regardless, that's still a story.
And then the poster replied and said, like I said in my post, I'm an avid hunter and I've seen many owls in my life. I've never seen an owl that was 7 to 8 feet tall and had a human abdomen and legs. I doubt anyone has. Story number 2 is just called Mothman Sighting.
Okay.
And it's from r/humanoid encounters. My son and I saw this monster thing last summer in Mertztown, Pennsylvania. We were parked on the side of the road in a heavily wooded area when this thing casually glided up the road. It looked big enough to carry a full-grown man away with no effort. When the wing flew over the hood of my car, we instantly ducked down. This thing had a round, human-sized head with no beak, hence the term man-bird, and huge bat-like wings.
The no beak thing is weird.
Yeah. Now, I would never tell this story if it wasn't for my 16-year-old son sitting in the back seat who also witnessed it on that summer day.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty capable guy. Not too many things can shake me, but this thing scared the hell out of me. Here's what I saw. The body was 5 to 6 feet in length, easy. Wingspan was 25 to 30 feet, easy.
Uh-oh.
No feathers, bat-like skin, jet black, and a 4 to 5 foot skinny rat or dragon-like tail that stuck straight out. This thing didn't fly like a bird, it glided about 10 feet off the ground at a very slow speed. After 50 to 75 feet of gliding, it took one huge flap of the wings, never changing elevation, and glided up the road till it disappeared into the woods. I'm convinced this thing lives underground, probably near some sort of hot spring, because it has no feathers. Well, that's my story. Feel free to reply with any questions. That 45-second event will forever be etched into my memory.
Underground is a great take.
It is. It's a really great take
Yeah.
that it lives underground, and also that would explain why people don't see it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, like the whole argument of cryptids in
And
general
there are
is
just like big holes.
exactly.
Everywhere.
And I guess that's like
even out in
like where we went camping.
yeah, and Lightning Ridge.
Yeah.
Holes everywhere.
Well,
Big
those,
holes.
those are mine.
Yeah,
Shafts.
but it could house a cryptid.
It could house the Mothman for sure.
Yeah.
I think also the fact that he's like, oh, I wouldn't post this, but like my 16-year-old son saw it too. Like, I think for a 16-year-old boy to be like, Dad, no, I saw this. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a 16-year-old boy and
Yeah.
his dad are the last ones to like overreact. But I do think that the underground thing is like a really good take.
Yeah, it's a good take.
Because I think also like
I was thinking that, like, where does this thing live?
I think that's a really big argument with cryptids is like how do people not see them all the time, blah blah blah. But it's like if they live underground, people wouldn't see them. They would only see them when they choose to come out. Okay, well, Jesse, what are your final thoughts on the Mothman? And then what are also your final thoughts on cryptids?
Okay. Mothman, not too fussed, to be honest.
Yeah?
I don't think I'd be super spooked if I saw him because he seems like a friendly guy.
He seems pretty
Seems
friendly.
like a friendly guy.
I don't think he's that negative.
No, I think there was a couple copycats in those stories. But I think that happens. Yeah, I think they're homebodies. I don't think they want to leave Pleasant Town or whatever.
Point Pleasant.
Point Pleasant. Cryptids in general, look. I think I'm not a realist, but like I try and take a very like
Realistic.
yeah, realistic approach to things. I don't know. I think I struggle with things that there's not a clear picture of. I really do. Because, like, at the end of the day...
But then also, like, in
there's-
this day and age, like, even if there was a clear picture, it's probably not real.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, with AI and...
That's true. But also, like, I think then we can all deal with that and come to our own conclusions. I don't know. I just think I'll always struggle with something where, like, it could be bullshit. I'm not saying it is. I actually...
Yeah.
I think there is truth behind this. But, yeah, I'm always going to struggle with things where it's like, oh, well, this whole town could just be on crack.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know?
Well, I hope you guys all had fun listening, and thank you for tuning in to our very first episode. So exciting. We will have new episodes every single week. Next week, we are diving into something that I am so excited for, and that is going to be the true stories and the hauntings behind American Horror Story
Yeah.
Season 1 Murder House.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm excited. Are you excited, Jesse?
Yeah, it's one of the only shows I've watched in this genre.
Yeah.
I only watched the first season as well.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be good.
It'll be good. So if that sounds like a bit of you, make sure you guys subscribe or follow us. You can get our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And also on YouTube at Probably Paranormal. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.